You are watching Market Watch, the brief overview of the key events from the world of finance. The next release of data from the United States indicates the inability of relevant experts to qualitatively predict changes in key macroeconomic indicators. The consensus forecast took into account the 0.2% increase in the core retail sales index in January, but it decreased by 0.6%. An unexpectedly strong decrease in this index increases the likelihood of a slowdown in inflation in the United States, which in turn indicates a slowdown in the largest economy. Also, the number of unemployment benefits received in the United States remains above the average for 2023, and even more so above the average for 2022. All this confirms the slow, but still slowing economic activity. The Fed calls this process a soft landing, which in turn increases the likelihood of a rate cut this year. The moderate deterioration of the economic situation in the United States is a bullish fundamental factor for the stock market and a bearish one for the US dollar. At first glance, this sounds illogical. But a gradual and to some extent controlled slowdown in the US economy will lead to the beginning of the process of easing monetary policy, thereby supporting the growth of key stock indices. At the same time, a decrease in the key interest rate will reduce the yield of government bonds, thereby putting pressure on the US dollar. All this is also really good news for gold, whose quotes have returned above the psychological mark of $2,000. But until the breakthrough and subsequent fixation of quotations above the resistance level of $2,017, the bullish scenario remains an alternative. To activate it, it is necessary to confirm the slowdown in the US economy, which in turn will increase the likelihood of a reduction in the key interest rate. Until then, there is a risk of another return to the $1,935 mark. Shifting to the cryptocurrency market, let's pay attention to the weakening of buyer activity. Bitcoin is stuck near the psychological mark of $52,000. In fact, Bitcoin has slowed down growth in a fairly strong technical resistance area of 51,300 to 53,300. An additional growth driver is needed to break through and then fix over this barrier. Given all this, there is a risk of developing a corrective wave. But the trend remains bullish until the quotes return to a technically strong support level at 40,500. That's all I have. Follow the news carefully and be prepared for all the surprises of the market.